everyone, how's it going? Matthew Bailey Media here, and welcome to another 2024 movie review. Now, I know I'm a little late on this, it's almost the end of the weekend, and I feel like I should just get it over with and actually review this movie, because I actually really enjoyed this movie. Now, I'm going to be careful not to say the name too many times. If you can already tell by what I just said there, I'm doing my review on BeetleJuice 2. Yeah, I decided to say it that way instead of saying it 3 times. But anyways, so this movie is the sequel to the iconic 1988 film, and it stars Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, and Michael Keaton back as their titular characters. Now, we do get some new faces in here, like William Dafoe, Jenna Ortega, Monica Bellucci, I think was the woman's name. This movie, I gotta say, was amazing. And like I said, this movie, again, the fact that Jenna Ortega is in this movie as Winona Ryder's daughter, I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. Now, without giving away too many spoilers, this movie does sort of explain why the ghosts that were played by Alec Baldwin, and I can't remember the name of the woman actress who played the wife, but they actually explain why they're not in this movie. But I'm not going to explain what they said, but without spoiling the movie. And I gotta say, this was definitely a worthy sequel to the 1988 film. Again, it's been 30 some years since the release of that film. Yeah, I think it was like 36 years, and apparently that's how long this movie takes place after the events of the first movie, which actually makes sense. So this movie basically follows the story of Winona Ryder's Lydia Dietz, who has become like this ghost person, where she has a special TV show where she talks to ghosts because of her ability that she had in the first film, where she talked to Adam and Barbara, where Adam was played, of course, by Alec Baldwin. And so she does this thing for a living now, and of course her mother, played by Catherine O'Hara, still does art. Now, I will say her father, the guy who played her father in the first movie, I heard he had some type of legal troubles over the last few years, and that's why they couldn't really feature the actual actor in this movie. But now, I don't want to say too much, but they do sort of explain how they don't use his character in this film, and I'm not going to say explicitly how, but I will say that was a clever way of doing it. And then you have, like I said, you had some new characters played by Jenna Ortega, who is the daughter of Lydia Dietz. Her name who's known as Astrid Dietz, and she has a little bit of a side story in this film where she meets up with this young boy who she gets a thing for, but then it turns out he's part of the bigger plot. And again, Michael Keaton's back, of course, as the iconic character. I gotta say, it definitely was a worthy sequel. I love how it didn't feature any sort of agenda-driven nonsense that a lot of movies recently have been doing. And I will say, I did see an interview that Jenna Ortega did for this movie where she actually explained that, where it comes to race swapping a character, not how that definitely does not work in a lot of stuff. Because someone even asked her what would she consider doing Edith Scissorhands, which apparently is the play on words for a race swap or a gender swap version of Edward Scissorhands, played by the iconic Johnny Depp. And she actually explains in the interview why she doesn't like or she doesn't think that's a good idea for a lot of different things. I think she even brought up a female version of James Bond, calling it Jamie Bond, saying she doesn't want to see that. And I agree with her. A lot of this type of woke nonsense really is pathetic. But with this movie not actually pushing an agenda and actually focusing on compelling story, I actually really loved how worthy of a sequel this was. And I didn't think I would give this movie this type of rating, but for now, let me give you my rating of the sequel to the iconic movie. So, for my rating of BeetleJuice 2... Don't you say that name! Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so for my rating, I'm gonna give BeetleJuice 2... You heard me. Stop it right now or I will gut you. A 4 out of 5. Yep, this movie was such an iconic film, and I cannot wait to see what else we have in store for this year. But for now, that's my review on BeetleJuice 2, and as always, I will see all you guys in the next video.
That's it. You asked for it. Ah!